Hey guys, it's Melody with Design by Melody here. I have another layout for you today, and this is using a couple different papers from my August kit. I actually am using this Echo Park paper as the base because I love all the bright colors in this paper. And the first thing I'm doing is kind of matting or sticking my photos together, and I'm going to cut out a piece of this because I like the back side of this. It has a real pretty blue not camera. Let's try cloud print. And it actually matches the blue stripe on the front of this paper. And I wanted to have another blue paper to bring in the same colors. So it was just a perfect thing. If I'm going to cover up a good portion of it, I can use it, cut out the piece of it and use it on the front of it. So it worked perfectly for me. And I was going to layer it. And the reason is because if you look at the clouds in the back or in the top part of these um, pictures, it just kind of brings in the other clouds. And so I thought it would be great. It doesn't exactly work out how I thought it would be, so I end up changing my mind, but I really thought that it would be perfect right there. I'm going to use this green and white kind of diagonal crosshatch print stitch thing here to mat my photos, and I'm going to actually cut a square mat or a rectangular mat even though the photos are askew a bit. It just makes it easier to do that, and you really can't tell too much, but you can tell that the photos overlap. So I'm going to pull in, I don't really have much of a color scheme other than just bright colors, and that's what I'm going with. So cutting this mat here, and I just lined it up with the edge of my trimmer, and then I'm trimming off a tad bit because I cut it too large, and it's just going to go straight here in the middle, right over my little blank spot that I cut out. And what I am going to use is part of this cloud piece. I'm going to make a tag out of it. And I'm just using the one corner that I cut off to cut off exactly the same angle on the other side. And then I'm going to make another tag out of this green, kind of olivey green color here, just so they overlap there together. Now they're not too noticeable in the final layout because they're just another bright color here off to the right, but I just like the element that it adds. I am going to punch holes in them and add eyelets to them so I can add some white embroidery floss to finish my tags. Now, I have an issue with ribbon or string just hanging down on my layout, so I just don't like the way that it looks. So I end up folding the, not ribbon, it would be floss, embroidery floss. I end up folding it around the back of the layout and taping it down with some washi tape. So because I just don't like the free flowing ribbon or thread or embroidery floss hanging. I just have an issue with that. It looks beautiful when other people do it, but when I do it, it never seems to lay just right. Now I'm struggling a bit with these eyelets, but I eventually get them. I think I had it on the wrong setting, so it just was flattening them instead of really having the edges curl under it. But I do like that green, those little green eyelets there on my tags that I made. Now this is where I'm going to pull out the white embroidery floss, and I'm actually using, finishing up one that I had. I tried to match the blue because I thought that would be nice, but actually that one blue matched pretty darn good. I should have just went with it, but I didn't. So I'm going to use up the rest of this white floss, and each month, well now, starting this month, I decided to write down all the things that I use up or finish just to kind of see what all I use in a kit. I kind of like finishing things, not that I want to finish my stash by any means, but I kind of like knowing that I'm using things. Now this is where I'm like, okay, well, I just don't like the way they lay, and since they're folded around that little card, they don't lay nicely. So I am folding them around the back, and then I'm taping them down, and I cut this one extremely short, so I have a bit of a difficult time, but I get it. It's all good. It all works out. And now my pieces of floss are just nicely laying there. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out where to go from here. I like the way that this looks, but it is quite busy, so I don't know how to go from here. So I'm going to try a couple of different things. I like this kind of confetti piece because it has all the same colors. I believe this is from the Echo Park Hello Summer set. I'm going to cut this pink scallop that I'm going to put right here on the edge. And then I'm going to kind of cover up the little flowers with this bright pink just really narrow strip, and it has white polka dots on it. So I'm going to use another piece of the, what do you call that, scallop at the top, and then again cover up those flowers. And I'm pulling out a couple of different things, and I really liked some of these little label stickers, and I like this fad is going to sit there for a little bit, and it ends up coming off. I just don't like the way it looks. It has brown on it, and I don't think it looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down here to the left where that details label is right now, which will eventually move. And when I move it, I rip my paper. So this is like, okay, I'm going to have to put something down here now. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put, and that fad sticker is actually going to move down there. I was debating on my title, and I end up using these gray alphas because I just didn't want another bright color, and I apologize that I'm off screen, but all I'm doing is I'm putting the word Carefree in these Amy Tan vellum stickers. And I have my little trash bin right at the top of my screen, which is why you see me keep reaching over. Eventually, I hope I move my page up. There you go, so you can kind of see what's going on. So I've put that fad sticker down there, and I'm going to cover up the word fad. And I use this arrow that's off of one of the labels, but it's a dark blue, and it really does not match. So I'm like, okay, well, what the heck? Now I have to put another blue up here. And I end up changing it because I don't want to do that. And I can't remember what I was going to make my subtitle as, but I'm looking through other letters to see what's an option. So I'm going to cover up the rest of that word with another little piece of that pink scallop. And then I have this arrow, and I'm like, okay, well, it looks great, but the shape does, but I don't like the color of it. So I'm going to pull out a couple different things, and I'm going to end up pulling out a piece of, or I think it's a 4x6 card here, and I'm going to trace that, or it's actually a scrap. So I'm going to trace that arrow on there, and then I'm going to cut out a couple of them, and I'm going to use them right here on this because it has that nice teal color that just matches this layout really nicely. And I didn't honestly pay attention to how I had traced the arrow on the back to know if it was which way the diagonals were going on the other side, but they actually turned out pretty well. The diagonals kind of match on all of the arrows I cut out. These pictures are actually from Kaylin's birthday. We took him, his favorite places or favorite store to go to is the Disney store because he loves all the planes and the cars that they have and superheroes that they have. So we took him there and got him a plane for his birthday. We let him pick out one. We'd gotten him other gifts, of course, but we let him pick out one that he wanted. And then we went to the airport, and he picked out a jet, which is actually from Cars. No, it's from Planes. It's one of the jets from Planes. So he picked out a jet, and then we ended up taking him to the airport because our local airport has a nice observation deck. And so we took him there, and his birthday is December 2nd, so it can be quite chilly, which is why he has a hoodie on, but it was a beautiful day. So we took him to the airport, and he's sitting there just flying his jet around as we're watching the airplanes come in and take off. So it was just a really nice day to kind of enjoy our time together and, just celebrate his birthday. He was only, he turned he turned 3. Helps if I can count. He turned 3 that year, so that's what he's doing. We're just kind of having fun. I put another arrow up at the top, and I cut a 2x2 card. It said birthday boy, so I cut that and used my scallop scissors to add an edge around it. And then I overlapped that real narrow pink sticker at the top over that, and then added the teal arrow because my sticker didn't quite go to the edge of the page and it left a weird gap, so I added that there. I also cut a piece of some red-ish paper that matches this paper, the background paper, and cut a little scallop and added right there to the right by the tags. And then that's also where I'm going to put 2 more teal arrows. I wanted to make sure there were multiple colors in each cluster because that's how the background is. And I didn't want to make it awkward by introducing any more colors, so I tried to color match as much as possible. Now it's kind of funny color matching like 5 different colors, but it's also very possible, and I enjoyed it. I really like how bright this is, especially since the photos are kind of neutral looking. I mean, we have the white clouds and the blue sky, but the Kaylin's wearing black and gray, and the deck that we're standing on is all gray, so kind of has a lot of neutral tones in there. So I like the bright colors. And I did title this layout Carefree because he was just so carefree. He was just having so much fun playing with his little jet, his new jet that he got. Lastly, I'm going to add these what do you call these, brads, and these are from a Stampin' Up collection that I was gifted. So I am using the green ones that are kind of an olive green, and they match that green stripe in the background paper perfectly. And then I'm also using some red and pink ones that match, again, the background paper perfectly. So it was really nice to be able to use those on this layout because it really matched. It went really nicely. And I'm adding 3 sets of 2 brads. I thought having 3 in each cluster would just be too much, and I didn't have any more anyways, so I thought the 2 just looked good in each kind of cluster. I always add washi to the back of these because I don't know what's going to be on the other side, and I don't want to run the risk of puncturing any layout or anything, so I always put washi over anything that's going to stick out in the back. Now, I start to write my journaling directly on the layout, and I'm glad I did it in pencil because I don't like the way it turned out. And what I'm going to end up doing is writing my journaling on white cardstock and cutting it into strips. And what it says is, "Happy 3rd birthday, Kaylin. We spent the day relaxing and having fun. You got a few new toys from your favorite store, the Disney store. Then we went to play with your new planes at the airport, enjoying your day." So that's what it said. I've done this before where I do the white strips at the bottom, and I just really like the way it looks, especially on a busy layout. It makes the journaling very legible and very easy to read. You don't have to kind of search for it. It's very easy to see that it's right there. And the strips kind of mimic the stripes on the page anyways. I have to rewrite it a few times because I don't like the way I wrote it originally, and I already knew what I wanted to write. I just needed to write it out. Now I am writing it on the back side, or on the white part of the single-sided pattern paper. I have some pattern paper that I really don't care for, but I again refuse to throw it out. So I'm going to use the white background of it to use for different things because again it's not useful to me in the color that it is. I just don't like it. And so I'm going to make it useful by using the white side. All right, and that is pretty much going to finish out the layout once I get these glued down. I have a lot more things coming up for you guys. If you will, please subscribe to my video if you haven't, or not my video, my channel if you haven't already, so you can get notifications of everything new that is posted. And then also give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. It really helps me out as far as knowing what you like and what you'd like to see more of. All right, I also will have some still photos posted at the end for you, and stay tuned. I plan on having videos up every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, as long as nothing happens like me getting sick or anything like that. So just stay tuned. I'll have lots more coming for you guys. All right, thank you. Bye.